the Casey studio at WETA. Students from South Lakes, Elizabeth Seton and Osbourn meet today on It's Academic. I'm Hillary Howard. Welcome to It's Academic, the world's longest-running TV quiz show, now in its 65th season, produced by Altman Productions and the great WETA.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following: George Mason University, all together different.
Call us different.
Different in where we come from,
Where we're going,
and how we think.
but the same in our dreams for tomorrow.
Driven by the pull of possibility.
To inspire,
To think fearlessly. To protect and to heal the planet. We know the world will change.
together.
We will be the ones to change it.
Call Mason different. All
Together different.
Well, hello. We're very happy you're there today, and we begin this It's Academic match with the fast start. As we always do, teams, you probably know how it works. Questions are worth 10 points up or down. First team to buzz in gets to answer, and the students don't see what you do on the screens in this particular round. Teams, fictional animals. All questions in this round have to do with various fictional animals. Kermit, is this amphibian? South Lakes?
Frog.
Frog is right. This donkey is a character in Winnie the Pooh. Yes, Seton.
Eeyore?
Eeyore, yeah. In this Disney film, Jiminy is what kind of creature, Osbourn?
Cricket.
Cricket's right. This bear symbolizes forest fire safety. Yes, South Lakes.
Smokey.
Smokey is it. Ricky Tikki Tavi is this animal, Osbourn?
Mongoose?
Mongoose is correct. This dog greets Odysseus when he returns home. Yes, Eaton.
Cerberus?
No, Argus. This young deer titles a classic story by Felix Salten. Yeah, Osbourn.
Bambi?
Bambi is right. And in the film Bambi, Thumper is this small, South Lakes?
Rabbit.
Rabbit's right. This dog belongs to the Darling family in Peter Pan. Anybody? Anybody? Nana. Shadowfax is this kind of animal in The Lord of the Rings. And the answer is horse. All right, nicely done, everybody. Let's recap those scores. South Lakes, 130 points. Elizabeth Seton, 100 points. Osbourn, 130 points. All right, let's meet the teams. We begin with South Lakes High School, home of the Seahawks in Reston, Virginia. Isla, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Tell us something about yourself.
I'm a sophomore. This is my second year doing Quiz Bowl and my first year doing It's Academic.
Well, we're very happy to have you.
And I really like genetics.
Oh, cool. Eric, how are you?
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm a senior. This is my third year doing It's Academic, and I play marimba in my school's marching band.
Very nice. And Avery, hey.
Hi, I'm also a senior, but this is my first year doing anything Quiz Bowl related. And I really think it's neat how it's TV time and I'm on TV.
Well, we're very glad we can help facilitate your desire to be seen by everybody else in this game today. Guys, these questions are worth 20 points, nothing off for a wrong answer. To admit error. Hidden within this phrase is the name of what Wind in the Willows amphibian?
Toad.
Toad is right. Complain about it, save it, add to it. If an employee plans to augment his or her salary, they intend to take which of these actions?
Add to it.
Yeah, oat, rich. Oats are always good, but the letters in this phrase can be rearranged to name what sort of two-wheeled, horse-drawn vehicle used for racing in ancient Rome.
Chariot.
Chariot's correct. December 2nd, 1859. This date marked the execution of what abolitionist who, 6 weeks earlier, had led the attack on Harper's Ferry?
John Brown.
You've got it. Domestic tranquility, international peace, general welfare. Two of these phrases appear in the preamble to the Constitution. Which one does not?
International peace.
You were right again. When I was a boy, the blank sea was only sick. This quote from an elderly comedian can be completed by adding the name of what salty Middle East sea on the border separating Israel and Jordan?
Dead Sea?
Yeah, from sick to dead. Absolutely. That does it. South Lake's nice job. 250 points. To Elizabeth Seton School from Bladensburg, Maryland. Hello, Alyssa. Tell us something about yourself.
Hi, I'm a senior at Elizabeth Seton High School, and this is my second year doing its academic. I am an AV technician for plays, musicals, assemblies, and masses.
That's great. So you must really like this. Yeah, good to have you again. Hi, Kira.
Hi, I'm a senior at Elizabeth Seton, and I do year-round competitive swimming.
Really cool. And finally, we say hello to Tiffany. Hi.
Hi, I'm also a senior at Elizabeth Seton High School, and I really like computer science, engineering, and animation.
Cool. We'll see some of your designs one day.
Hopefully.
Here we go. A Sunday tonic. You won't need a tonic if you can find hidden here the name of what Ohio city that was home to the Wright brothers.
Dayton?
Yes. Stubborn, seriously ill, lacking excitement. You would not want someone to call you insipid because insipid has which of these meanings?
Stubborn?
No, lacking excitement. Clayhem. Please rearrange the letters in this anagram and you'll name what medieval pseudoscience whose practitioners tried turning base metals to gold.
Alchemy?
Alchemy is correct. March 13th, 1781. This was a big day for astronomy when Sir William Herschel discovered what planet that lies between Saturn and Neptune.
Jupiter?
No, Uranus. Over there, Yankee Doodle, America the Beautiful. Which of these patriotic songs was popular during the Revolutionary War?
Yankee Doodle?
Yankee Doodle is right. Blank could speak at least 9 languages. You can complete this information from the ancient writer Plutarch by adding the name of what Egyptian queen beloved by Mark Antony?
Cleopatra?
Cleopatra is right. Nice job, Elizabeth Seton, 180 points. And now to Osbourn High School from Manassas, Virginia. Hello, Gabrielle.
Hello. I'm a senior at Osbourn High School, and I'm part of the debate and tennis team.
Nice debate, but you don't debate while you tennis.
No.
Okay. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, I am a senior at Osbourn High School. In my free time, I tutor in math, and I do Brit theater.
Wonderful. And Marshall?
I'm a senior at Osbourn High School, and I am the president of my school's Latin club.
Latin is a very good thing to know. In college, especially, right? Guys, here we go. Nicaragua makes peace. See if you can find in this sentence about Nicaragua the name of what small self-governing U.S. territory in the Pacific?
Guam.
Yeah. Clumsy, agitated, reserved. A person who is reticent can best be described by which of these adjectives?
Reserved.
Yes. Hiss, do. You don't want to hiss the do, so rearrange these letters to name what language spoken in Stockholm.
Swedish.
Swedish is right. September 12, 1958. On this date, the U.S. Supreme Court reinforced an earlier ruling by refusing to delay school integration in what Arkansas capital city?
Little Rock.
Yeah, Little Rock. Dengue fever, botulism, malaria. Which of these medical problems is not spread by mosquitoes?
Botulism?
It is botulism. The blank of prehistory. In describing the ancient cave paintings found at Lascaux in France, one writer compared them to what ancient Greek temple on the Acropolis?
The Parthenon?
It is the Parthenon. Nice, Osbourn. 250 points. That does it for Mix and Match. The Picture Perfect round is coming at you next. Stay with us.
In 1961, 9 high school students walked into a TV studio in Washington, D.C. to film the very first episode of It's Academic.
Good evening and welcome to It's Academic, the weekly program on which
Little did they know that over the course of the next 65 years, thousands of high school students would follow them onto the set and into broadcast history.
I think what has kept its academic on the air for so long, you had strong support from the schools, and we've had a strong community support.
There aren't a ton of outlets to be competitive in an academic setting.
It teaches composure, knowledge, wisdom.
And it's like an engaging, fun quiz show, but it also teaches you so much about the world in so many different facets.
Today, It's Academic is celebrating 65 years and is the world's longest-running TV quiz show. Thank you, students, schools, viewers, and fans. And remember, it's academic.
Well, now we can begin the picture-perfect round. Teams in this round, questions are worth 20 points up or down. Once again, the first team to buzz in gets to answer. As its circular shape suggests, this galaxy shares its name with what kind of jewelry named in the title of a Tolkien trilogy? Yep, South Lakes.
Ring.
Ring is right. This blanket was woven for a chief of what N-initialed tribe of Native Americans? Yes, Osbourn.
Navajo.
Navajo's it. Because of its cry, this swan is named for what musical instrument favored by Louis Armstrong? Yep, Osbourn.
Trumpet.
Trumpet's right, and he hated Louis Armstrong, by the way. He liked Louis. Taking positive routes. It's okay, South Lakes. Do you want me to read it?
16.
16 is right. Very good. During our dispute with Britain over the Oregon Territory, this map was drawn to show settlements along the shore of what sound in Washington state? South Lakes.
Puget Sound.
Yes. Totally mindless killing machines. This was the way one scientist described what insects whose name indicates 100 legs. Yep, South Lakes.
Centipedes.
Centipedes, right. Choice. Titled Music, this 1910 work is by what French artist? Mahler, Matisse, or Monteverdi? The answer is Matisse. Roman Emperor Augustus had a record of his achievements inscribed on a temple wall in what city, now the capital of Turkey? Yep, Seahawks.
Ankara.
Ankara is right. Well done. Let's recap those scores. South Lakes, 350 points. Elizabeth Seton, 180 points. Osbourn, 290 points. How about we meet the coaches who help prepare these teams for It's Academic, and we begin with South Lakes. Tell us who's with you, Eric.
Today we have two amazing people with us. We have our mascot, Seymour the Seahawk, and our amazing coach, Mrs. France.
Very good. So glad to have you here. Thanks. Over to Elizabeth Seton. Kira, who's behind you?
This is Miss Edwards, our computer science teacher and coach.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And to Osbourn, we have a whole team behind you, Victoria.
Yes, we do. We would like to extend a huge thank you to everyone here to support us today. We have our coaches, Mr. Iqbal, Ms. Haygood, and Ms. Bond. We have our principal, Dr. Chapman. We have school board chair, Ms. Seberg, vice chair, Spall, and Councilman Osina. We also have parents, staff, and other fans of our team.
Thank you to all of the coaches. We really appreciate you being here. All right, and now we can start the packet round. South Lakes, you'll answer questions first. Elizabeth Seton, you get to choose which envelope they'll answer questions from.
1.
1. South Lakes. We've got a North and South Carolina, but what state has a West but no East equivalent?
Virginia.
Yeah, it's Virginia. There are now thousands of people in the U.S. certified in what ancient Chinese medical procedure involving the insertion of multiple needles?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture's right. We Fed an Island is a book about the chefs who fed thousands of people in 2017 after Hurricane Marie hit what Caribbean island, a U.S. territory?
Puerto Rico.
That is right. Here's your science question. Germanium, silicon, tungsten. Which of these three elements is not frequently used in transistors and semiconductors?
Tungsten.
You've got it right again. When he said, "You furnish the pictures, I'll furnish the war," William Randolph Hearst was referring to what 1898 war for which his newspapers whipped up public support?
Spanish-American War.
That's right. Jockey's Ridge, North Carolina boasts the East Coast's biggest example of what kind of hilly sand formation that titles a Frank Herbert novel?
Dune.
Dune, yeah. Here's your math question. Solve for x if y equals 5.
49.
49 is right. In 1841, what vice president served only 31 days before succeeding William Henry Harrison to become our 10th president?
John Tyler.
Oh, nice. 25-point bonus for South Lakes. Well done. Over to Elizabeth Seton. You guys are up to answer questions. Osbourn, will they answer questions from packet 2 or 3?
3.
3. The gradual cooling of its core has resulted in the shrinking of what small planet closest to the sun?
Mercury?
Yeah, it's Mercury. In 1967, Francis Chichester was knighted after single-handedly repeating what sailing feat that had been first accomplished by the Magellan expedition.
Circumnavigating?
You've got it. Many rulers have had regrets, but Philip II of Spain must have felt especially sunk after he sent what force to attack England in 1588? You're going to know it when I say it, the Spanish Armada. Here is your science question. Diverging, parallel, diffused. A beam of parallel rays is reflected from a plane surface. After reflection, the rays will be which of these?
Diverging?
Nah, parallel. The notorious fugitive slave laws were passed as part of what compromise, whereby California was admitted to the Union?
The Missouri Compromise?
Actually, it's the Compromise of 1850. The title character of what Shakespeare tragedy is an ambitious Scottish nobleman who plots with his wife to kill King Duncan?
Macbeth?
Yes. Here's your math question. Please perform the indicated operations.
4,000?
Yeah, 4,000. Blessed are the young, for they shall inherit the national debt. I'm so sorry. So said what 31st president in office when the stock market crashed in 1929?
Hoover?
Yeah, Hoover. That does it. Nice job, Elizabeth Seton. 280 points. All right, to Osbourn with packet number 2. Team. The first electronically designed U.S. postage stamp depicted sculptor Frederick Bartholdi with what large statue that lifts up her torch in New York Harbor?
Statue of Liberty?
Yeah. From 1936 until 1977, it was illegal for workers in Spain to belong to what sort of organization, such as those in the AFL-CIO?
A union?
That's it. NASA scientists cheered after the successful 2008 Mars landing of a spacecraft named for what mythical bird that's reborn from its own ashes?
Phoenix?
Yeah, here's your science question. Stamens, leaf scars, lenticels. Along the internodes, especially on young twigs, tiny pores known by which of these terms allow gas exchange between the atmosphere and the stem interior?
Lenticels?
That's it. George Washington had a foxhound named for what Roman god of the forge, the counterpart of the Greek Hephaestus? Answer in 3, 2, 1. Vulcan. The 1820 sinking of the Essex after it had been rammed by a whale provided the inspiration for what Herman Melville novel published 31 years later?
Moby Dick.
It is Moby Dick. Here's your math question. What is the length of this rectangle if it has a width of 10 and a perimeter of 80?
30?
Yeah. Our country's first trillion-dollar budget was presented in 1987 during the second term of what 40th president? And the answer
Reagan?
is yes, it's Ronald Reagan. Nice, Osbourn, home of the Eagles, 430 points. That does it for the packet round. Grab bag is next. It's Academic has been on the air for 65 years. And over the decades, we've showcased thousands of high school students from all over the D.C. area. Today, It's Academic continues to celebrate education and remains a critical part of WETA's mission-focused programming.
With the recent loss of federal funding for public media, we need your help now more than ever to support It's Academic. Please make a donation and become a friend of It's Academic today and help keep It's Academic on the air and streaming for our students and their futures.
All right, here we are. It's grab bag time. Questions are worth 20 points up or down. First team to buzz in gets to answer. Here we go. What same word refers to a cupboard and also the president's official group of advisors heading Osbourn?
Cabinet.
Yes. The Pennsylvania town of Valencia takes its name from the Spanish region famous for producing what citrus fruit? Yeah, Elizabeth Seton.
Oranges?
Yeah, that's it. Called the Hidden Falls, a 100-foot-high waterfall was discovered in 1998 in what mountainous Asian land where Lhasa is capital? The answer is Tibet. On your screens. Radishes get their name from the Latin word radix, meaning what portion of a plant that grows downward and absorbs water and nutrients, Osbourn?
Roots.
Roots is right. A student taking a correspondence course might study the casket letters of what Stuart queen beheaded at the behest of Elizabeth I? And the answer is Mary, Queen of Scots. Choice. Of the following gases, which diffuses most rapidly? Oxygen, helium, or hydrogen? Yep, South Lakes.
Hydrogen?
Yeah, it is. In 1816, James Monroe defeated Rufus King, the last presidential nominee of what party? Yep, South Lakes.
The Whigs?
Nope, the Federalist Party. On your screens. This is what ancient Greek philosopher whose teachings have come down to us through Plato's dialogues? Yeah, South Lakes.
Aristotle?
Nah, Socrates. Political cartoonists traditionally use what ursine animal to symbolize Russia? Yes, South Lakes.
Bear.
You got that one. If the edges of a cube are doubled, the volume is how many times? Yes, South Lakes.
8.
8 is right. Author Dashiell Hammett wrote a mystery about a Maltese variety of what sort of South Lakes?
Falcon.
Yeah, not a Seahawk, though. On your screens. One morning, as Gregor Samsa was waking up from anxious dreams, Franz Kafka wrote these opening words, South Lakes.
Metamorphosis?
Yes, it was. What is the area of a square that has a diagonal of length 2 times the square root of 2? Yep, South Lakes.
4.
4 is right. One of the first 18th century writers to write ghost stories was what author better known for? Robinson Crusoe. Yes, South Lakes.
Stevenson?
Nope, Daniel Defoe. To avoid the U.S. Navy, what Confederate warship named for a river valley in Virginia sailed around the world? The answer is, you Virginia teams, Shenandoah on your screens. This is what American author who wrote The Bridge of San Luis Rey and the play Our Town. Yep, Osbourn. Answer, 3, 2, 1. Thornton Wilder. In the World War I Battle of the Marne, troops drove from Paris to the battlefield in what kind of public vehicles with meters, Osbourn?
Taxi.
Yes, in Greek mythology. And that does it for us. That is the end of the game. Stay with us. We'll have those scores in just a second. I'm Hillary Howard, host of It's Academic, and I've got a question for you. What's a new and easy way to watch all of your favorite PBS and WETA shows? The answer is WETA Plus. That's right. WETA Plus is a free and easy-to-use streaming service created specifically for DC area viewers like you. With WETA Plus, you can watch local shows like It's Academic or PBS hits like Masterpiece, wherever and wherever you want, on your TV or on the go. WETA Plus is free and available to download on all major streaming devices and smart TVs. For more information, go to weta.org/WETA Plus. The scores are now official. We begin with Elizabeth Seton, home of the Roadrunners. Alyssa, Kira, Tiffany, 300 points. Yay. From Osbourn High School, home of the Eagles in Manassas, Virginia, Gabrielle Victoria Marshall, 470 points. And our victors for today, South Lakes, home of the Seahawks in Reston, Virginia. Isla, Eric, Avery, 595 points. We are so happy that all of you were here with us today. I'm Hillary Howard. Can't wait to see you next time. And remember, everybody, it's academic. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following: George Mason University. All together different.
Call us different.
Different in where we come from,
Where we're going,
and how we think.
but the same in our dreams for tomorrow.
Driven by the pull of possibility.
To inspire,
To think fearlessly. To protect and to heal the planet. We know the world will change.
together.
We will be the ones to change it.
Call Mason different. All
Together different.